Welcome to Next Level You podcast. I'm Stephanie Dingbaum, your host, your biggest cheerleader, and your go-to girlfriend for real, raw, and uplifting conversations about leveling up in life. As a mental health therapist with over a decade of experience and a business coach helping women elevate their lives and businesses, I'm here to guide you through the mindset shifts, holistic practices, and manifestation tools you need to step into your most authentic, next level self. Whether you're here to ignite your personal growth, elevate your professional game, or simply rediscover you, this podcast is your invitation to dream bigger, go after your goals, and unapologetically claim the life you deserve. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's dive in. It's time to up-level, manifest, and glow. Hello, before we get started with the podcast today, I just wanted to take a few minutes and share some feedback that I've been getting on the podcast lately and do a couple shout outs. So first of all, I just want to say whenever a listener reviews the podcast or sends me a DM or sends me a compliment or feedback on the podcast, I really take that to heart because I just think in general, we can constantly be improving. And also it's hard to know if you're really reaching people, if you're really helping people, if they're not sharing their takeaways. And so I've had a lot of great feedback in the last, I think it's been 10 months since I started the podcast. I just like to share these with you guys because I know it can be intimidating sometimes sharing feedback with other people, but I think it's really important. And especially if you're an ideal listener of mine, I really value what you think. And I think in order to constantly better myself and my services, I need to know how it's hitting people. So I want to do a couple shout outs. First of all, Andrea reached out to me and she is somebody I've never met before. She's actually from my area. She's just a couple towns away, but she messaged me and said in regards to the podcast that it's amazing. I feel like you are someone I can relate to a lot. I love your take on mindset and how we are in control of it. I've had a lot of synchronicities in my life as well. Things happen to us for a reason to teach us a lesson or a blessing, and I love your take on life. Andrea, thank you so much for reaching out to me. Thank you so much for inquiring about the coaching program. I'm so glad that the podcast hits home for you. I'm glad that you see value in it. Thank you for being a listener. And then lastly, I had to share my best friend, Melissa. She actually texted me a couple weeks ago and I took a screenshot of it and I've been meaning to share it with you guys because I thought it was funny. And Melissa is also a therapist like I am. And so she is someone that I talk to damn near daily. I mean, we sometimes after work, you just need to talk to somebody who's doing the same work that you're doing, who gets what it's like to be a therapist. And so she's my go-to. And like I said, we talk almost daily. And so she sent me this text a couple weeks ago that's in regards to the podcast and said, I should have told you that when I start my day with your podcast, I think it makes me call you less. It's like I had already talked to you today. And I had to share that with you guys because I have heard this from multiple friends. A cousin of mine and one of my other best friends, Meg, has shared similar feedback. And I just think it's so funny because I never really thought about the podcast being a way that my good friends connect with me, because it's very much one-sided. And yeah, clearly it just makes them feel like, oh, I already heard from Stephanie, so I don't need to call her today. I just think it's hilarious that that's how multiple people in my life feel. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. Thanks, Melissa, for sharing that. And thank all of you listeners for being loyal, for supporting the podcast. And just know if there's any episode that just really hits home for you, even if it's one of the earlier ones, please reach out to me, send me a DM, email me, whatever you want to do. I love and appreciate the feedback more than you know. And like I did today, I will more than likely give you a shout out in a future episode. All right, so let's get into the podcast. Hey there, listeners. Are you ready to elevate your mindset and manifest your goals? If you're a female entrepreneur or someone who's been dreaming of starting your own business, I have something so exciting to share with you. I'm Stephanie Dingbaum, and I've just launched my 12-week coaching program, the Up-Level Method. It is designed to help you gain clarity, build confidence, and create the soul-aligned business and life that you've been dreaming of. So here's what you'll all get in the program: weekly one-on-one coaching calls tailored specifically to meet your goals, Voxer access for real-time support and accountability throughout the week from me, customized tools like journal prompts, meditations, and follow-up emails to keep you aligned and on track throughout the week, plus guidance to overcome imposter syndrome, rewrite limiting beliefs, and shift into an abundance mindset. The Up-Level Method isn't just about checking off goals. It's about helping you step into your power as a CEO, make decisions that light you up, and build a business that feels truly authentic to who you are. And the best part? The current pricing is literally the lowest that it will ever be. If you're even slightly considering it, lock it in now, because this investment in your future self will pay off tenfold, I promise you. Payment plans are available, so don't let finances hold you back from stepping into your best self. This is your chance to stop second guessing and start showing up for your business and life with purpose and intention. If this feels aligned, DM or email me today to set up a free clarity call. Let's see if the Up-Level Method is the right fit for you. All the details are in the show notes. This is your time. Let's make 2025 the year you up-level everything. Hey girl, hey, how's it going? Thank you for being here. We are into the second solo episode of 2025. You guys, I have some really fun updates that are coming down the pipe for Stephanie Dingbaum Clarity Coaching. So the website is finalized, it's up, it's live. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's in the show notes. Go check it out. And we have some really, really fun, really exciting, really juicy things to come. I have been doing some creating and I'm just so excited. I'm not ready to share yet, but next time I do a solo episode, I will be sharing all of these updates with you. And I'm just so freaking excited because things are really coming together. I kick off my coaching program this week. It actually starts today. I have 4 coaching clients that I'm starting with, and I still have 2 openings. So if you are interested in coaching with me, do not hesitate to reach out to me. You can DM me, you can email me. You can also express interest right from the website. So don't hesitate to reach out to me if you are intrigued by this offer. This coaching business has just been so fun to create, and I'm just so excited to work with these 4 women. We're going to kick off the new year just like really strong, and we're going to help them gain clarity, and we're going to increase their confidence and overcome imposter syndrome and probably so much more. But to scratch the surface, that's where we're starting. And so I'm just so excited, you guys. So the theme of today's episode is all about embracing confidence. This is a subject that is near and dear to my heart. I firmly believe that you cannot appear too confident. I know you might push back to that and say, yeah, but you need a healthy balance of humility and confidence. And I don't disagree with you. You know, growing up, being raised in the Methodist church, it was definitely hardwired in me that you always need that healthy balance of humility and pride. So I do agree with you, but I also think too many women dim their light. And I'm not here for that, okay? If you listen to my previous solo episode, you know that I experienced this quantum leap back in 2024. And just one of the big takeaways that came out of that entire growth period was that I am embracing my confidence. I am done dimming my light for others. Not that I was doing that, but it's not going to happen at all moving forward. I am fully embracing my confidence. I'm showing up as the confident version that I am as much as possible. And I think you all need to do the same. And the reason I said I know this can be a trigger for other people is because I know that sometimes being around confident women can be triggering. I mean, I've learned that firsthand. But what I want to say about that is, I'm always telling my therapy clients this, actually. I'm always telling them that people are mirrors of ourselves. And what I mean by that is that those things in other people that most trigger us or get under our skin, more often than not, those things are connected to our own insecurities. And so think about it. Think about that for a second. Think about somebody who, when you're around them, they just really trigger you. They just really get under your skin. And ask yourself, what is it about that person that triggers me? So name what that is. And then take it a step further. Is there a chance that that triggers you because that's actually an insecurity of yours? That is something that you don't want people to see in you? If you are being honest with yourself, it maybe isn't 100% of the time, but more often than not, it's connected to an insecurity. So I'll give you an example. For me, I get most triggered by people who have poor boundaries. Now let me explain this. The reason is because growing up, and even like as a young adult, I always felt like I did not have great boundaries. And I'm talking like in relationships, financially, maybe sometimes emotionally, in conversation. Like I just didn't think I had great boundaries. And I did not like that about myself. Like I would read self-help books. I would talk to my therapist about improving my boundaries because it got to a point where I didn't want that to be something that people saw in me anymore. And so there are people in my life who have poor boundaries, who just lack good boundaries, whether it be in conversation or, emotionally or financially, like that. It just gets to me. And the reason is because I never want to be seen as somebody who has poor boundaries. That is something I am insecure about because I, at one point in time, did have poor boundaries and it did impact me. And I also feel like growing up, I saw unhealthy boundaries being modeled around me from time to time. And so I'm hypersensitive to it also because of that. Are you 5'4" or under? If so, listen up. This ad is for you. Did you know nearly half of women in the US are petite? Yet shopping for stylish clothes that fit perfectly can feel impossible. For years, I struggled with this. Shopping in kids sections, dealing with oversized arms, long pants, and wasted money on alterations. I hated shopping because nothing ever fit just right. Then I found Short Story, a clothing subscription box specifically designed for petite women. Short Story is rewriting the fashion rules for petites, offering clothes tailored for all sizes, shapes, and heights under 5'4". They even design their lines based on feedback from their subscribers, people like you and me. Here's what makes Short Story amazing. Each box is personalized to your measurements and style preferences. No more alterations or guesswork. You choose how often you get a box. You can do monthly, bi-monthly, or quarterly. Every box includes 7 items, and I usually keep around 4 to 6 of them because they fit so perfectly. Their styling quiz lets you share your budget, style preferences, and even your Pinterest board for inspiration. Yes, I have literally manifested my Pinterest wardrobe thanks to Short Story. And lastly, after each box, you can give feedback to make your next box even better. So imagine never having to shop in stores again, feeling confident at every event you attend, and knowing your clothes were curated specifically for you. I've been a loyal subscriber for 6 years now, and I promise it's been a game changer. If you're ready to uplevel your style and show up as the best version of yourself, then give Short Story a try today. And then a bonus for my listeners, you can use the referral link in today's show notes to waive the $25 styling fee on your first box. Let Short Story handle the hassle while you show up stylish, confident, and ready to take on the world. So the reason I'm sharing this is because I understand it can be triggering being around somebody who shows up confidently, especially if you have such a hard time showing up that way yourself. But do some inner work and heal whatever wound you have that causes you to feel that way. There is nobody telling you, or I hope there's nobody telling you that you can't show up confidently. I'm here to tell you, you can show up confidently. And this is the year to do it. Like, let's start now. Whatever wound you may have that led you to believe that you cannot show up confidently, it's time to heal that. It's time to bring closure to that. It's time to throw that story in the garbage. Because from this point forward, we're going to step out as our confident selves. It's time. And I completely understand having wounds, okay? I myself have a high school wound connected to confidence. So, and I remember it clear as day. It was freshman year. My group of friends and I, there's about like 10, maybe 12 of us, I don't know. Group of friends and I, the plan was, so homecoming week every year, on homecoming week, each day is a different theme and you dress up according to that theme. So my freshman year, homecoming week, the Thursday of that week was swap day. And so swap day meant like girls dress up as guys dress up as girls. Well, my friend group, we all decided we were going to make shirts and we were going to choose a celebrity crush of ours and we were going to put his last name on the back of our shirts, like kind of like making like a jersey, so to speak. And so we were going to get together early that week, make the shirts and wear them on Thursday for swap day. That was the plan. Swap day came. We never got together. Nothing was ever said about getting together. I show up on swap day. I mean, I didn't dress up because we didn't do the plan. So I didn't dress up. And I get there on swap day and one of the girls hands me a shirt that I guess was made for me. But I was like, all the other girls were in their shirts. And I was very confused because I was under the impression that we weren't getting together to make them. Nobody said anything. Well, as the day went on, come to find out they did all get together. They just didn't want to tell me, but they didn't want to show up in the shirts and not give me one. So they made me one because I guess they felt bad. Or somebody did. And so, yeah, as you can imagine, I mean, I was just very confused. Went home that day. I was always super close with my mom. I mean, I told her everything. Like, we were just very close growing up with this, my single mom, she was my best friend. And, so naturally I'm telling her what happened. And we were both just super confused at why this happened, at why I was intentionally left out, but yet they still made me a shirt. So my mom, being the advocate that she was for me, took it upon herself and called one of the other moms of one of the girls in the group who my mom was actually friends with and just asked her, like, hey, why did the girls include Stephanie in this? Like, she's really hurt about this whole situation. What's going on? Did something happen that I don't know about? She gets off the phone, and I remember this clear as day. She told me that what this other mom had told her was that the girls didn't want to include me because they felt like I'm just too confident and they don't like it and I just need to cool it. Like, it just sounds so ridiculous now. So ridiculous. So going back to what I said about people being mirrors of ourselves, those girls probably had, maybe not all of them, maybe just a couple of them, but somebody in that group probably had an insecurity that was tied to lack of confidence. And me showing up confidently obviously triggered them. They didn't like it. And I mean, let's be honest, as a freshman, that probably was hard. And I'm not saying I was perfect. I'm not saying I didn't I probably could have cooled it in some ways, but I also, as an adult woman, like, I don't agree with dimming your light. I think that's ridiculous. So I'm sharing all that because I want you to know, like, I understand having wounds, but I've worked through that, okay? I hold no hard feelings because I know logically that we all have insecurities and not everybody has worked through those, and that's okay. But don't let other people who have done the growth, who have gone through the growth, who have done the hard work, don't make them feel bad for being comfortable showing up confidently. Just own your own insecurities is all I'm saying. So I'm sharing all of this to just simply say, show up as that confident version of yourself. Stop letting others' opinions of you impact how you carry yourself. It's a new year. It's a fresh new start. Let's start the new year on a confident note. Own your confidence. Who cares what other people think of you? Who cares how it impacts others? This is your time to shine. This is your time to step up. If you're an entrepreneur like me, step up as that CEO version of yourself that you know you are. Own the title. Just own it. Believe that you are enough, that you are worthy just as you are. And stop letting limiting beliefs or negative thoughts hold you back. That ends right now. I'm serious. This is the time. This is the year that you're going to step out as that most confident version of yourself. It doesn't mean that you won't have moments of doubt. We're all only human. Of course, you're going to have moments of doubt. But what you need to do, the instant that those doubts come creeping into your mind, you need to immediately remind yourself of all that you've accomplished, all that you've overcome, all that you've learned, and all that you've worked towards in your life so far. Go through the timeline of your life and just get a whole list of everything you've accomplished, everything you've overcome, everything you've learned, all that you've worked towards. Create a list. Actually, speaking of a list, I actually did this. So at the end of 2024, read the book Be Seen by Jen Gottlieb. Amazing book. Highly recommend it, especially if you want to improve your confidence. Then I highly recommend you read it. But one of the exercises in this book was to actually, she called it the badass list. So I highly recommend you do this. I did it and I've actually used it a couple times already. So what the badass list is, in a nutshell, is a list from your entire life so far of all the moments where you showed up feeling like a complete badass. So in a nutshell, it is like the things you've overcome, the things you've accomplished, things you've worked towards. So create that list and keep it, like save it on your phone, save it in your drive, save it on whatever. And anytime that you are lacking that confidence, or anytime you are feeling nervous about something, or maybe you're experiencing imposter syndrome, pull that list up. Force yourself to read through it. And I'm telling you, you're going to immediately notice a shift. Because when you read that list, it's almost like you're reading a book about somebody else's life. Like the first time I did this, I read through my list and I was like, damn, this girl's a badass. Like you literally read it and you're like, oh yeah, I guess I am a badass. I guess I have done some pretty amazing things, right? Like it's such a great reminder. So highly recommend it. Also go buy Jen Gottlieb's book. Read that book. I'll link it in the show notes. Such a good read. So freaking good. She's amazing, by the way. So that's something you can do. Anytime self-doubt comes creeping in, you're going to immediately remind yourself of what you've accomplished, what you've overcome, what amazing things you've done in your life. Pretty much like any badass moment that you've done, remind yourself of that in the moment. That's going to really help. It's going to help to diminish the doubt in that moment and help to bring that confidence back up to the surface. If there's one thing that I could go back and tell that high school version of me, that freshman version of me after that incident, it would be that you never hide yourself. You never dim your light just because other people are intimidated by you. When I think back to like that night when my mom got off the phone and her and I were talking, I don't exactly remember what my mom told me, but I do know that she always encouraged me to stand tall. But despite her encouragement, I did struggle to go back to school after that. I had a shit ton of self-doubt after that. I didn't know how to show up without, like, I was afraid that I might say something that would be too much or would offend somebody, and so I just didn't know how to show up from that point forward. And I will tell you, I definitely dimmed my light from that point forward. I've worked through it since then, but I'm just saying, like, that definitely left a mark for me. We have got to own our insecurities and stop putting our judgments onto others all because of our insecurities. And this is a tough thing to let go of. I understand, but you can just start by recognizing when you do it and owning it in the moment. Because we're all guilty of it, honestly. We all are, because we all have insecurities. I've been there, so I understand. But I'm telling you, I am done dimming my light for others. This is the first time in a long time that I feel like I'm showing up authentically as the woman I'm meant to be. And I'm telling you, nobody's insecurities, nobody's fear is going to get in my way. So you need to ask yourself, what is stopping me from showing up confidently? Like, pause the podcast, go back, open your journal, and write down what comes to mind. I'll say it again. What is stopping me from showing up as the confident version of myself, as the next level version of yourself? And how can you show up as her from this point forward? Whatever that barrier is to showing up confidently, it's time to throw it in the garbage. It's time to tell yourself, I don't give a shit anymore. I am done with this. I am not holding on to this weight anymore. We're stepping forward in 2025 as the confident version of ourselves, as the CEO of your life, as the CEO of your business. Own that freaking title. I mean, I'll be honest, in the first year of owning my business, I very much was like, I'm a CEO. Like, wow, took a little bit of pride in that. But I did have a hard time. There was a few times where I felt like I needed to put that title on paperwork or just in different things for the business. And I struggled to write it. Why? That's what we are. Own it. This is your time to shine. This is the time. There's no better time to start than now. You don't need to wait till Monday. You don't need to wait till the next new year. Start now. Remove that barrier. And you decide for yourself, because you deserve it, because you're ready for that next level version of you, decide now that you're going to step out as that confident version of yourself. And if you need help with this, do not hesitate to reach out to me, because I've gone through the journey myself. I completely understand, and I got your back. So if you want my help, DM me, message me, email me, check out the website. I'd be happy to help you. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. I really hope that this hit home for even just one of you. And as you were listening, if anyone came to mind that you're like, oh, she needs to hear this, pass it on. Send it on to somebody who you feel is constantly struggling with their confidence. Sometimes we just need that little pep talk. And that's all I wanted to do today, was just give you that pep talk. Okay? So feel free to share it with somebody who you feel could also benefit from hearing this message. Because let's be honest, sometimes we all need a little pep talk on confidence. All right. Have a great rest of your week. Until next time. Talk to you later. Real quick before you go, I just want to thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. And congratulations on showing up for you. Every step you take to invest in yourself brings you that much closer to your next level self, and I'm so proud of you. If you loved this episode, share it with someone who could use a little inspiration, or take a screenshot and tag me on socials so we can keep spreading the next level you energy. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Let's freaking go!